What is your response to those comments?
Hard to imagine the president said that. I cannot envision a circumstance where, as a candidate, I would welcome information from a foreign government against my opponent. After what we've seen the Russians try to do in the election, presidential election, after we know the threats they've made to so many other countries, as we know that they can distort information and distort news, there is no reason why we should give them any credibility or cooperate with them. The right course of action, if contacted by a foreign government, as far as I'm concerned as a political candidate, is to immediately stop the conversation and call the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Do you think these comments will make any difference for your colleagues on the other side of the aisle?
I don't know. It's so naive. The president says so many things every single day, half of which the next day he recants and says something different. But this gets down to a serious element. He knows how important it is. He should know. I mean, the Mueller investigation, the first chapter is about Russian interference in our election. It's not about the president.
This has been the central issue we've all been talking about.
Absolutely. And the notion that it's all right, I think what he's probably doing is covering for his son, who, when he was approached by Russians who said they had information about Hillary Clinton, invited a meeting. He couldn't wait to sit down at the meeting. The meeting apparently didn't turn out to be too much, but he was wide open for business. Bring in your Russian information that we might be able to use. And that was a mistake, a serious mistake. And the president, I hope, or at least I thought, had learned from that mistake.
Do you think this is, as you said, the president has said a lot of things that have gotten the media and a lot of folks up in arms. Is this a next level kind of comment that should instill a graver concern in the public?
I don't know what it takes for the American public, many of them, to be shocked by the president's comments. I think after 2 years, people are numb. Things that he said over and over again, outrageous things, I really think have reached a point where many people just don't absorb it. They just let it bounce right off, but they shouldn't. This is serious. This is about national security. It's about our right to vote in a constitutional democracy and choose our leaders without foreign interference.
How much does this concern you for 2020?
It concerns me. I'll tell you, the president should have learned his lesson. I learned a lesson, in terms of what the Russians did. They invaded the voters list in the state of Illinois. It was one of their first intrusions in my home state. Thousands of voters could have had their identities compromised, and thank goodness they didn't. But it was real in my state, and I knew it, and I never wanted it to happen again.
I mean, it seems like we learned our lesson in terms of we know what happened in 2016. Has there been any change?
I don't think the president understands this. I don't think he can understand it. He was trying to rise to the defense of his son, but the position he took of sharing or learning opposition research from a foreign government might be acceptable is just totally antithetical to our constitutional democracy.
Is there anything you can do here on the Hill to protect our election?
Well, of course we should, and the fact that Senator McConnell will not even allow us to bring any legislation up in terms of the integrity of the election, I don't understand it. I would think the Republicans have just as much at stake as we do in making certain that foreigners don't come into our election. Now, the foreigners, in this case Russia, in 2016 might have been on the side of the Trump campaign. Those tables could turn tomorrow. They could decide in the next election they're going to pick a Democrat to support. I wouldn't want any part of it either way.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.